Didn't realize, I knew she had like one kid that she adopted. I didn't realize she had two kids, and one of those kids is going through a transition, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, Charlize Theron. I mean, there's a lot of movies that she's played in that I actually did like. But this podcast that she just podcast tour she's on, oh man, it's just a bad look for women. It's a bad look for like, fathers. Or it's not a bad look for fathers, but it just shows you how they feel about fathers because they're so comfortable. Like you can even say this about moms, but when it comes to fathers, hey, all day we can say whatever we want, talk shit, do whatever. So let me get this video ready here for you.
And while you pulling that up, the podcast is it's called I don't even want to shout them out, but we're using their content. It's called Call Me Daddy, and if you
Oh shit,
listen,
pause. You have to say it.
if you listen to that podcast, it is the most anti-male podcast that I've heard. And by the way, Kamala Harris gave them $800,000 while she was running
Yeah.
for president to do a
Well,
trash interview.
and it's important that we have this discussion. I think we are talking about it earlier with the man that was before our stream cut out. The guy was just getting stepped on by this chick in his seat. The Alex Cooper, her podcast, as to who runs the Call Me. She has one of the most popular podcasts for women. So women are engaging in this content and they're seeing themselves because that's what women do. They're like, oh, I want to be just like her. You don't need a man. And she's in her 50s or she's about to be 50. And I don't want to spoil it, but she's getting tossed up. So it'll it'll come together in this clip.
Do you understand that I can take things that are happening?
I like, do you know how fucking great it is?
Hold on, I gotta go back.
Charlize Theron, entitled "I Don't Need a Man." In it, Miss Theron explains how she reacts to people criticizing her for being a single mom.
I like want to just like look at them and just be like, do you know?
Also, who's really criticizing her for being a single mom? No one's really even doing that. We have tons of single moms. So it's not like everybody's like, oh, look at Charlize Theron. She's a millionaire. She's an actress. Like, no one's really going after Charlize Theron. They might be questions about the whole Transformer conversation, but that's really about it.
How fucking great it is to live exactly how I want to live, to experience motherhood exactly how I wanted to experience it. And I know the next thing they say is like, well, that's not fair on your kids. Can I tell you something? That will be their story to tell. I can't tell you. I can only tell you that this is the best way that I know how to be a mother to them. And maybe they'll grow up and tell their story, and I will respect that.
Well, she also wanted audiences to know how liberating it is for her children not to have a father.
I love that I don't have to run every fucking thing by a guy. I love that I don't have to, well, oh my God, I fucking love that I don't have to do any of that stuff. And my children, we joke, listen, I think you can tell, like, this is how I raise my kids. Yeah. Like, right? We don't hide this shit.
But don't worry, while Charlize doesn't think husband or father is important in life, she hasn't given up on men altogether.
I found this freedom in my 40s where I'm like, oh my God. So I just want to say this in perspective. I've probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life.
Okay.
But I did just recently fuck a 26-year-old and it was really fucking amazing.
Fuck yes.
Yes. And I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Okay.
Let me just say that 26-year-old is the luckiest fucking man walking on this goddamn planet. He's walking different today, knowing, oh my God.
He for sure is not, but thank you.
No, he is.
Well, the episode's been viewed by nearly 1 million.
All right, we're going to pause that real quick. Man, you know what? When she said the 26-year-old, I think it was a ninja that fucked her too. So Charlize Theron, man,
I can't speak on his race, but what I can tell you is to mess with a woman like that, he's got to be a beta.
Well, man,
that's the only type of man that could tolerate a woman like this for any extended amount of time.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And then for Alex Cooper to say like, oh, I bet he's walking different. Why would he be walking different? Do you hear what you make her seem like she's trans? Like that's what that comes across. So first of all, pause on that one, but also just the conversation. So we can go back to the video, but the three important things here though. So the easiest one is, she's 49, 26. I don't even care about age gaps like that. As long as everyone's legal and everyone's cool with it and down with it, do whatever you want. I'm not gonna, Johnson police, but I know a lot of people like the Johnson police when it comes to like Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, even with Shannon Sharp just recently. And so, and Shannon Sharp is definitely paying the penalty for messing with that 19-year-old because she's about to mess up all the money for him for right now, though. But outside of that, I mean, there are plenty of Al Pacino. He just had a kid with some 20-something chick. So, but when those conversations come up, oh, you're a pervert, and you're disgusting, and they start dropping the P word, the other P word, not pervert, but they start doing a lot of those things. And then we have Charlize Theron just casually throwing out there, yeah, it was so liberating. Look, women out there, she's lying to y'all. You are not going to have that life. Like you can get tossed down, or you can get tossed up and slutted out. There'll probably be a lot of men. You probably won't have a problem getting slutted out like that, though. Okay, let's just put that out there. But most women are not going to be able to be in that situation that she's in. Like usually there's some conversations that have to, go past that, but you're not going to have the same experience that she's having. She can just, be one and done and move on. But most women are not having that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, and first of all, some of the stuff that she said is some of the most selfish, self-centered nonsense that I've heard ever come out of a woman's
Right.
mouth. For you to have kids and basically say that I do what I want when I want it, and how they feel about it, that's their story to tell. That's bull. Complete bull and nonsense. Anybody who's a good parent knows that when you have kids, that is one of the first things you forfeit. I can't do what I want to do anymore. If I stay out too late one night, it's going to mess up the way I interact with my wife and my daughter the next day. You lose some of those freedoms when you have kids. If you are a very active parent, and instead of trying to supplement your income and probably like 8 or 9 different nannies, instead of you being there fully, you would understand that. That's number one. Number two, one of the most attractive non-sexual things about a woman is watching her in her nurturing feminine spirit with your
Yeah.
children. At hands down, watching the way my wife deals with my daughter, I completely love that. And I know a lot of other men love seeing their ladies interact with the kids like that too. That's number two. Number three, what she's saying, I posted 2 studies that essentially say that children who have both a mother and a father in the house with them tend to have better outcomes and results than ones that do not. That's number three. And number four, you are a 49-year-old multimillionaire, and ironically, she's African American. But
Yeah, I had to look that up too.
you're a 49-year-old multimillionaire spewing this nonsense, and the women and most of the other women who are not multimillionaires are going to hear this, and they are going to think that this is normal and that this is acceptable. I know many single women, many who listen to this podcast, who have told me on multiple occasions, I'm tired. Matter of fact, Claudia Jordan just said it on a podcast last week. I'm tired of being an independent woman. Somebody come in here and help me. I lived a life of independence and being single, and I regret it. I probably should have pulled that clip and played it, TR. But
Yeah.
this chick is off the chain. And here's my final message. I always say, whatever hits the black community is eventually going to hit every other community. So now I'm talking to white men. I need you to understand, this is coming your way next. You're going to see more and more white women who think like this.
MC, they're already there.
Oh, I already know, but it's going to accelerate. You're going to
Yeah.
meet more and more women who are going to take more pride in being a mother than they do in being a wife. So y'all better be prepared to deal with that, because the selfishness is going to be at an all-time high.
Yeah. Charlize Theron, I would have never expected her. Like, we don't see a lot of people coming out here and having the conversation of, why it's great to be a mom. Who was that football player that had that conversation at the commencement? Oh God, Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't know. I must
Remember, he
missed that one.
said he was talking to women about being a wife, screw those degrees or whatever.
Oh, that the kicker, was it Harrison Butker?
Butker, yeah.
Yeah, Butker, yeah.
Yeah. So Harrison, I mean, all he was telling us facts, and he got shamed for that. They tried to cancel him. They tried to get him kicked off. They tried to get the Chiefs to kick him off the team, and like just nonsensical things. And this is how far women have gone away from like their their nature. And for a lot of men out there, a lot of men, because we just had a conversation with Andrew Tate. And I can see why a lot of men went to Andrew Tate, and he may have not been the best messenger for some of these things, but I know he did help some men. I just wish I would have seen more of the men come out there and say, "Hey, I'm Andrew Tate," because we see a lot of men discuss Kevin Samuels, and so, but I don't see a lot of men discussing Andrew Tate. So it might just be my algorithms or whatever the case is, as far as teachings, though. But with Harrison Butker, I mean, just simply telling women that the most impact that you'll have, or the most rewarding thing you'll have, is actually being a mom and being a wife. And so I would love for us to get back to those two things with women when it comes to relationships. But I think a lot of men are being led by women. We saw that in the election. I'm never going to let that down. We saw like 92% or 90% of men, black men specifically, step in and say like, "Hey, I'm with you, sis." Like being led by the women to vote for Kamala Harris. And then we saw white men being led by the white women who don't shave their arms, don't want to have kids. they want to fight for ghost babies. Like we've seen a lot of women do all that stuff, and those are the type of women that you guys are fighting for. Okay, fine, whatever. It is what it is. But there's gonna be a point where being in the marriage is definitely going to be like, wow, you guys got married? How's that even possible nowadays? Like it's going to be the conversation in the next 10, 15 years. Are going to be like, what happened? What happened with all the men? What happened with relationships? Women like to call Alex Cooper podcast, Charlize Theron, this feminization, or this toxic feminism is what destroyed it. I mean, there's some other things destroyed it. Simps destroyed it too. I'm gonna put that out there. It's not just on the women.
Hey, here's another observation too, TR. Both of her children, black.
Yeah, black. Yeah.
Which segment of people in the United States have the fewest fathers in the home?
Oh, yeah. I mean, black people, or
Absolutely.
single moms. But yeah.
Let me drop this video real quick, TR, because I just found it, and this is a cautionary tale for the women who think that being single and independent is a flex. Take it from somebody who's been in the celebrity limelight for a long time.
Hey, no music, right? No music.
No music. We good.
All right.
Single. I'm tired, Erica. You found your man. Don't hate. Let me live this. Let me vent. You're off the strip. I am still on it. I'm in the trenches, and it
She's
sucks.
laughing.
I'm sick of being independent. I hate paying for my Range Rover, my other car, my mortgage insurance, my freaking cell phone, computer, Wi-Fi. I am sick of it. I need some guy with bad health to jump on in and interrupt and say, "Let me take you off your shift."
Did she say bad health?
She said bad health, TR.
I don't know if this video is going to help your argument, MC.
It's going to help my argument because I have footage of women for days crashing out talking about, "I made a mistake. I need somebody to help me with this. I'm tired of doing this by myself." The bad health part, if you want to, you can use that and say her intentions are terrible. But the initial point that she made is 100% true. I talk to so many women who tell me that, and we, in a previous podcast, we shared a study that was done where most millennial women say that they regret not getting married and staying with the father of their children. It's statistically proven. I don't know when it became controversial to make a statement that women need men. When did that become a controversial statement? Somebody help me out on that.
Yeah. No, it's never. I mean, maybe since after the 2000s, or sometime in the 2000s, maybe after Barack Obama's first election, that's when we started to see a shift in relationships, definitely with race. But not to say Barack Obama had a hand in it, but that's when, for me, that's when I noticed a change when it came to relationships. Now, I think the message that the video you just played, I think the other message there is that men have to get comfortable just being a like it's going to be very difficult for you to get married nowadays, especially after 30. It's going to be very difficult. And
Yeah.
she said she gave a list of things that she wants a man to do, not a list of things that she would want to do. And so I think a lot of women are capable of being in a marriage or even a relationship for more than like 3 years. So a lot of men need to be comfortable with that this is not going to last long, and keep your options open because I mean, actually, really just play the field though, because they just want you for like a bill here and a bill there. She said Range Rover and trips or whatever, or she said some other stuff. I know she said Range Rover. It's like I gotta come in and pay your bills. Like, what are you doing for me? Like, I'd be more inclined to believe her if she would have said, like, look, I will cook, I will clean. Not that even if a woman said,
She definitely told on herself during that interview. I didn't play the whole thing, but she aired out how many cars she owns and how many. So she's definitely living outside of her means.
yeah. So a man is supposed to step in and do that. But here's the other thing too. If it's just really about the money, just go make more money then. Because you don't need a man to do that. Because what a man's going to require you, most men are going to require you to be some level of submission. And it's not like, I mean, I saw her. I'm not going to say she was terrible looking, but most men, you can get something cheap on the market, on the open market.
Yeah,
like,
she's 52.
oh shit.
She was. Oh, by the way,
I would be nice.
according to Google, she was married from 2009 to 2010.
Oh shit! See, she found a guy to go through that with. So, I just think for men have to do this. Men just got to make more money, and they can date whoever they want, and just kind of really lease these women because. And I know that's gonna rub some people the wrong way though, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to get the marriage, like if you turn 40, marriage is not a viable option for you though, because then you're rush into a marriage. And it's barely an option for you if you're in your 30s. Like if you go into your 30s or your early 30s with somebody, then you can definitely possible still get married as long as you spend enough time with each other. But after 40, you're not getting married. Like hands down, you can get married, but you'll probably get divorced too as well too. So, I just don't think it's a good option for most men out there after they hit 40 because the time it takes for you to want to be in a relationship. And if you want, like, I got a friend who wants to, he wants to have kids. And so he's never had kids. He's been married, but he's never had kids. The crazy thing about this is that I asked him, or when he was dating someone, he's dating someone in their he's in his 40s, so his range is like 35 and up where he's at. And I'm like, why are you dating women around that time? He's like, oh yeah, that's just the age range that I'm comfortable dating with people. But you want to have kids. You can't date a woman that's in her late 35s to 40 and expect that you're going to have kids. It's the percentage goes down considerably. And so when you get to the 40 range, you're not having kids. So I'm telling him, like, why are you trying to date women that you know for a fact are not going to be able to have kids? Like, you're going to have to date a woman in her early 30s and dare I say, someone in their late 20s, and he would never go that far down. I'm like, motherfucker, do you want to have kids or not? When are you supposed to? This is thing with that chick from Blackish. What's that chick's name?
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah, Tracy Ellis Ross. A lot of men will get on here and cap and say she's good looking and she's put together. Okay, fine. I get it. She's good on the eyes, blah, blah, blah. You can't have kids with her. Like if she was her and whatever that JUCO Shannon Sharp had, you only got two options. And I know she's on the, she's selling the cat, but you can't have kids with Tracy Ellis Ross. You're not even going to come close to having kids with Tracy Ellis Ross. Chester Ellis, she doesn't even have fucking kids. So what makes you think you're going to be able to have kids with her? But men will get on here and get on social media and cap and say, she is somebody I can have a relationship with. Well, as long as you have kids, I mean, as long as you don't expect to have kids with her, I guess you can. But she's playing the field just like she's fucking 20-somethings.
Yeah. It's so weird that it's crickets when it's the woman who's doing that, but then when the man is doing it, you get all this outrage. But
Yeah.
they literally argue with science, TR. Like we literally just posted articles that
Yep.
The National Institute of Health says you do much better with two parents. Geriatric pregnancy starts at age 35, but a lot of these women will tell you that they want to wait and that they want to wait to damn near 40. There's
Get their
lots and
careers.
lots of extra risks that come with geriatric pregnancy. Plus, it takes you longer to recover. You can do a quick Google search and see that on multiple medical sites. But you value your independence more than you do building up a team, and by definition, that makes you a terrible candidate for marriage.
Yeah, and one more thing, and might get back to the video. When she said, "You know what? This is something that I'll hope with my kids. I hope they'll understand when they get older." First of all, majority of kids do not blame their mom when the father's not around. The majority of them don't. And I'm not saying the mom is a 100% is the reason why the father is around. It could be for a number of reasons. But she said, I don't want another man around. I want to do it the way that I want to fucking do it. And that is so disrespectful to the kids, though, because there are plenty of kids that would have loved to have, even with their mom, if their mom was with the dad, they would love to have the step. I mean, I've dated a lot of, moms, and I can tell you what, then they always had sons. They always love having me around because you have a man that takes an interest in your kid and wants to see your kid succeed. All boys, well, I guess that's the conversation there, but all boys want to have like that father figure that's close to them, root for them, do things with them, play video games with them, go biking with them. Like they all want that. They all crave that. They all need to have that too, because as boys get older, they start challenging everything. And so that's when you got to have that masculine presence there. But for, according to Charlize, she has two girls that are, or two boys or whatever it is that are transitioning. So that might be the reason why she doesn't see fathers, someone being in that situation though. But it's a crazy sight to behold. And, good luck out there, man.
All I'm gonna say is stop listening to these damn celebrities. They know nothing about the average daily life experience, especially women. Y'all be worshiping the hell out of these celebrities. Leave them alone. They can teach you nothing about your everyday
Real
life
things, yeah.
in a functional relationship. This lady probably got 4 different nannies taking care of her kids, and they spending no time with them. Stop
Exactly.
listening.
People so far, reaction has been divided between those who celebrate Charlize as, quote, a powerful badass, epitome of a strong woman fighting against the evil patriarchy, and others who, in equally strident language, view the whole episode as yet another example of modern feminist media denigrating the role of men at every given opportunity. All of which makes it a good starting point for a lively debate. Well, joining me for this battle of the sexes, host of
a 40-year-old attractive woman has sex with some random young man is because it's not impressive. It's impressive when men can bang young women, because most men can't bang young women, but most older women can bang young men. So it's just not an impressive accomplishment.
Okay. When he said, see, this is the other thing that, I've realized he's right in the sense that most older men cannot bang a young woman. That's broke men that cannot bang a younger woman. Most broke men. He needs to qualify that though, because he shuts the door when he says, most men. Like, no, we've seen a lot of older men banging younger women. So, he needs to correct that, but he was right on the other point.
But most men, and see, the thing about these conversations, TR, I think less than 1% of men make $1 million or more per year. It's like less than 1%. But when these people make statements like this, like the Claudia Jordans and the Charlize Theron's, like, they're speaking about their experiences dealing with those less than 1%. So this don't even apply to the average everyday person. I want you to pay attention to these two on the right on this panel, though, because you can tell, if they're going to bring up a black man, he's going to be zesty. But you can see the two on the right are feminists, and just watching their facial expressions when Andrew Wilson is talking, it's just hilarious.
Of course, these are the same women who will screech because, Leonardo DiCaprio decides that he wants to change up at 25 years old, any of the broads he has hanging around. But this is not an impressive accomplishment. All a woman needs to do to get laid is go somewhere where there's men and offer it up. It's not the case for men. So it's an unimpressive accomplishment on its face. As to the rest of what she's saying, this is just normal tripe, right? Her kids are the ones who are going to get punished. They're always the ones who get punished. We can look at the data for outcomes on children who are raised in single mother homes. It's not good. It's not good for their mental health. It's not. And by the way, the rates of abuse from having strange men around skyrocket. Terrible
That's
idea.
true, too.
And it's exactly the wrong kind of propaganda to be pushing.
All right, Taylor Lorenz, isn't it just a factual reality of life that women are predominantly happier with a man by their side and children are predominantly better off in life with a present father?
I think, listen, children are better off in life when they have a loving household, and not all of those households have fathers. I mean, there are lesbian parents, there are, different types of arrangements. I think it's important for kids to have different
Pause
figures
real
in their
quick,
life who
TR.
they can look up to.
Just real quick, pause. So the people who agree with that statement that she just made, I'm here to tell you, women cannot raise men. They can. I'm the living proof of that. But we've shown studies of that too. Look, I will put my mom up. My mom is the greatest mom ever. I will scream that into the hills. But most of the masculine lessons that I learned came from learning from my own mistakes and from having a solid group of people around me who mentored me, a solid group of men, not people, who mentored me and called me out on my BS. That's where my masculinity came from. That's how I learned how to conduct myself like a man. So this shit is way off.
Yeah, 100%, man.
And, I think it's really important to expose kids to all different types of figures, but that doesn't have to be, like a man, a cisgender man that's standing around all the time. There's plenty of terrible fathers out there too. So, I think it's great that the child is growing up in a loving household, and hopefully, she'll expose the child to lots of different types of.
Yeah, but can you acknowledge that we have now been studying this phenomenon of single motherhood for years and years and years, and that the outcomes for children of single mothers tend to be terrible in comparison to the outcomes of children without them? Can you just acknowledge that that is true?
So I think what you're talking about are studies.
I'm asking a question. Don't run from the question. Yes or no. I want you to acknowledge with a yes or no, then a qualifier. Yes or no. Isn't it true that outcomes for children when they're raised by single mothers tend to be worse than those with a mother and a father in the house? Yes or no, then give me your answer.
So I'd love to respond if you stop talking over me.
Go ahead.
Anyway, most single mothers are not Charlize Theron with millions and millions and millions of dollars. So when you look at studies like that, a lot of it has to do with the economic opportunities that a lot of single mothers have. Women make less than men as a whole. They're subject to more sexism and discrimination. So it can often be more challenging for them to raise a child alone.
So the answer is yes?
No, the answer is Charlize Theron.
It sounds like you just said that the answer is yes. The answer, according to you just now, is yes.
No, any single
and then you just make excuses for it. You're like, yes,
but why can they never answer? He asked a yes or no question. Is it true or false that children who come from single parent homes tend to have worse outcomes? It was a yes or no question.
It's the programming.
That question.
She can't go against the programming because it will make women look bad. And if when she brought up the point about, well, most women don't have Charlize Theron's money. Okay, fair point. She can do things, very haphazardly, but whatever. But you still have to acknowledge. So take the Charlize Theron's and the women that have money out of it. Just in general, is that a bad idea? And she can't even answer that though. So, and I don't know if this woman has kids or not though, and she's acting like she doesn't have kids. But he's right to press her. And a lot of times, if she just say yes or no, that would have ended the conversation. He'd have nothing after it. She'd say, hey, you're right. You're absolutely right. This is not a good message that we're sending out to women. And I wish she had phrased it a little bit differently. She should have just said it works for her. She should have said she was selfish and I want to do it my way at the detriment of her kids.
I think now's a good time for us. I got to call out men who give these type of women children and money, energy, attention, and time. Like, y'all got to choose better. Well, part of the issue is women like this, as long as they're somewhat attractive, can still get the type of man that they want 9 times out of 10, because you're thinking with your head that's downstairs as
Tracy
opposed to the
Ellis.
one that's up. You're not thinking about how she's going to wreck your life if you knock her up. You're not thinking about how when she has that kid, it's my kid instead of our kid. You're not thinking about any of that stuff. You're just thinking about how to get off for the night. And then you want people to sit around and feel sorry for you when you're dealing with a baby's mother who's making your life a living hell.
Right.
Because
Right.
women
Going
are
on right
oppressed.
now. This is so weird. You're like shouting
Taylor,
at me.
can I jump
You
in
know,
here,
well, do you
Piers?
know what?
Yeah,
it is?
I just wanna hear
hang on,
her.
Time out.
To you.
Time out. Let's bring in Jedediah.
Taylor, this is not rocket science. First of all, you lost me at cis male. You just need a guy, just a man, right? We don't need all these terms, these nonsensical, ridiculous terms that
Thank you.
modern leftists have come up with. It's just a man. Children do better when there is a mom and there is a dad. And the reason is that men and women are completely different. They bring very different things to the table. And children need the role model of a mom and a dad, not just people around. Sure, you can have aunts, you can have uncles, you can have friends, but we're talking about the two individuals that are raising children. And let me just ask you this question. Wait, I'm not done yet. You complained that Andrew interrupted you, and now you just interrupted me. I'm not done yet. Charlize Theron, you're right. She is rich. She has a ton of money. But what example do you think she's sending to young women everywhere that this is somehow empowering, that you should strive, by the way, you should strive to be the single mom because you don't have to deal with a guy. You don't have to answer to a man. Oh, isn't that so wonderful? And guess who'll pay the price? My kid, she even says, my kids can tell their story. How unbelievably selfish of her to say, my children
Yep.
will one day to get to tell a story that they had no father because I decided that I just wanted to do this myself, me, myself, and my money. Is that the
Yeah,
message
I wanted
that
to
we
go
should
hump
be sending to
26-year-olds.
young women?
They're lesbian. They shouldn't be
guarantee
able
you
to
that
raise
chick in
children.
the
You
middle
need
was
a
married, TR.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's good. I don't care what the other guy. I don't care what the, other dudes.
Well,
what
the
he has
sexy
to
black
say.
dude just came in and just did on everything that the feminist lady said. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I gotta say, so when women, this is a crazy thing too. So I'm okay with women when they point out this nonsense stuff. It's just they point it out when it occurs. They don't always point this out when just in general. Like we have these conversations all the time, but they only point it out when like a big celebrity is, saying something idiotic on the socials. This needs to be, preached to everyone. This needs to be preached everywhere. And I can tell you, she probably had, I don't know where the chick in the blue headphones, but she probably has a more of a male centric audience. And so I don't know if it's going to reach women. The only people that tend to reach women are these, Alex Cooper podcasts, the Michelle Obama's podcasts. Like these are
You just
terrible.
refuse to say the name of that podcast, don't you?
Hey, yeah, shit. Her name is Alex Cooper, but there's a lot of women podcasts out there. They don't have these. They refuse to have these conversations. They refuse to like even acknowledge like the real elephant in the room. And if they were to ask their kids, like, "Hey, do you think life would have been a little bit different?" A lot of times, these kids are gonna be like, if these kids are talking to their mom, they're gonna spare their mom's feelings. If they're not talking to their mom, talking to someone in general, they're gonna tell the truth. Like, yeah, I wish I did have a father. I wish mom would have got all these fucking simps out here, and you can't find one step dummy. Come on, they just don't want them in there.
Yeah. I'm gonna just end it here because I'm sick of this lady. Fellas, you got to stop giving your heart to women who think like this. You got to stop giving that MEAT acronym we just talked about. You got to stop. You got to vet these women better, and you got to make better choices. She's going to make your life a living hell if you knock her up. She doesn't care about anything outside of herself, but you can't see past that because she's attractive, and you got to start to see past that.
Yeah. And I'll say this, there's something to be said about Leonardo DiCaprio, Nick Cannon, Jamie Foxx, and there's probably some other men out there that have been pretty good about their relation. Well, Derek Jeter, I know he's married right now, but when he was, in his younger days, you got to look at, you're going to have to look at how these men are operating. They're not always super flashy about the women that they're dating. Every now and then you might see them pop up in the picture, but they have like the situation under control. And it's generally because, they probably put some expectation on the woman going into the relationship. So I know these men, with the exception of Derek Jeter, are not trying to get married at this point in their careers, but like I said, they put the expectation, and maybe they got signed some paperwork, but they never have these problems.
Yeah, it's just a cold game, man. I'm glad I'm out of it. You can have all this single stuff, TR.
Yeah, I'll tell you some more stories on here. So, all right, that is going to wrap up tonight's podcast. MC, final thoughts?
No, we cooked tonight. I really wanted to get to that liberal conversation we're gonna have. We might have to roll that over the next week.
All right. Well, yeah, we there's a lot of topics that we put out there we just can't get to because of time. So, but hopefully, we'll be able to do in the future podcast. So, all right, everyone, we'll see you next time.
Peace.